God save our glorious Tsar, he who rules o'er us, guarding our motherland from all who'd assail. Grant him omnipotence in all that he pursueth, lending protection while tyrants so fail. From town and distant plain, let us all gather, showing our gratitude for all he bestows. Then we shall raise our song in honor of our Father, singing his praises with joy that o'erflows.
It's quite all right. You're not disturbing me. I would much rather talk than work. Yet, here I am, day after day, haunted by one thought. I must write. I must write. I must write. This is my study, the room in which I write my stories. Built it myself, actually. Cut the timber and fitted the logs. Made an awful mess of it. I do my writing here, this side of the room, because the roof leaks directly over my desk. I'd move the desk, but it covers a hole I left in the floor. And the floor was built on the side of the hill, so during heavy rain the room tends to slide downhill. Many's the day I've stood in this cabin and passed my neighbours standing in the road. Still, I'm happy here, although I don't get enough visitors to suit me. People tend to shy away from writers. They assume we're always busy thinking. Not true. Even my dear sweet mother doesn't like to disturb me, so she always tiptoes up here and leaves my food outside the door. I haven't had a hot meal in years. But I've done a good deal of writing in here. Perhaps too much. I look out the window and think that life is passing me at a furious rate. So I ask myself the question, what force is it that compels me to write so incessantly, day after day, page after page, story after story? And the answer is quite simple. I have no choice. I am a writer. Sometimes I'm engaged in conversation and I hear nothing and see only the silent movement of lips and answer a meaningless, yes, yes, of course, when all the time I'm thinking, he'll make a wonderful character in a story, this one. It's funny, but before you came in, I was thinking to myself, perhaps I should give it up one day. What would I do instead? Well, I've never freely admitted this before, but to you here in the theatre tonight, I would like to tell you what I would most like to do with my life. Ever since I was a small child, excuse me a moment, just making a note. An idea just occurred to me. A subject for a short story. Yes, it was my mentioning the theatre that sparked me. What were we talking about a moment ago? No matter. My thoughts are consumed with this new story. See if this appeals to you. It starts in a theatre. It starts on the opening night of a new season. It starts with the arrival of all those dear and devoted patrons of the arts, who wave and greet each other in the grand salon, commenting on how this one looks and how that one is dressed, scarcely knowing what play they are about to see that evening, with the exception of one man, Ivan Ilyich Cherchikov. If Ivan Ilyich Cherchikov, a civil servant, a clerk in the Ministry of Public Parks, had any passion in life at all, it was the theatre. He certainly had hopes and ambitions for higher office, and had dedicated his life to hard work, zeal and patience. Still, he would not deny himself his one great pleasure. So he purchased 2 tickets in the very best section of the theatre for the opening night performance of Rostov's The Bearded Countess. As fortune would have it, into the theatre that night came his respected superior, General Mikhail Brasilov, the Minister of Public Parks himself.
Good evening, General.
What? Oh, yes, good evening.
Permit me, sir. I'm Cherchikov, Ivan Ilyich. This is a great honour for me, sir.
Yes.
Like yourself, dear General, I too serve the Ministry of Public Parks. That is to say, I serve you, who is indeed himself the Minister of Public Parks. I'm the Assistant Chief Clerk in the Department of Trees and Bushes.
Ah, yes, keep up the good work. Lovely trees and bushes this year. Very nice. There.
My wife would very much like to meet you, General. This is she, my wife, Madame Cherchikov.
How do you do, General?
My pleasure.
My pleasure, General.
How do you do?
Madame Brasilov, my wife, Madame Cherchikov.
How do you do, Madame Brasilov?
How do you do?
I just had the pleasure of meeting your husband.
And I'm my wife's husband. How do you do, Madame Brasilov?
Shh. Sorry, terribly sorry.
I hope you enjoy the play, sir.
I will, if I can watch it.
Feeling quite pleased with himself for having made the most of this golden opportunity, Ivan Ilyich Cherchikov sat back to enjoy the bearded countess. He was no longer a stranger to the Minister of Public Parks. They had become, if one wanted to be generous about the matter, familiar with each other. And then, quite suddenly, without any warning, like a bolt from a grey thundering sky, Ivan Ilyich Cherchikov reared his head back and...
Oh my goodness! I'm so sorry! I'm so terribly sorry, Your Excellency!
Never mind. It's all right.
All right? It certainly is not all right. It was unpardonable. It was monstrous of me.
Leave it be. Let the matter rest.
But how can I let it rest, General? Oh, permit me to wipe your neck, General. It's the least I can do.
Leave it be. It's all right, I say.
Oh, but I splattered you, sir. Your complete head is splattered. It was an accident, I assure you, but... Oh, it's disgusting. Shh. The thing is, Your Excellency, it came completely without warning. It was out of my nose before I could stifle it. Shh! Shh! Oh, yes, certainly. I'm sorry. It's not a cold if that's what you're worrying about. Probably just a particle of dust in the nostril. Shh!
But try as he might, Cherchikov could not put the incident out of his mind. The sneeze, no more than an innocent anatomical accident, grew out of all proportion in his mind, until it resembled the angry roar of a cannon aimed squarely at the enemy camp. He played the incident back in his mind, slowing the procedure down so he could view again in horror the infamous deed.
Charming, yes. I found it delightful. What about
Utterly charming.
Yes.
I was completely baffled by it.
Excuse me, Excellency.
Who's tapping? Somebody's tapping me. Who's that tapping?
I'm tapping, sir. I'm the tapper. Cherchikov.
Stand back, dear. It's the sneezer.
No. I'm all sneezed out. I was just worried about you going into the night air with a of a damp head.
Oh, that's it. It was a trifle, a mere faux pas. Forget it, young man. Most amusing play, don't you think? And did you find it amusing?
Amusing? Oh my goodness, yes. So true. I haven't laughed so much in years.
Which part interested you the most?
The sneeze. When I sneezed on you, sir. Oh, it was unforgivable, sir.
Forget it, young man. Come, my dear, it looks like rain. I don't want to get my head wet again.
No, you shouldn't let people sneeze on you, dear. You're not to be sneezed at.
Oh, I'm ruined! Ruined! They'll have me fired from trees and bushes. They'll have me sent down to branches and twigs.
Oh, come, Ivan.
What?
You mustn't let it worry you. It was just a harmless little sneeze. The General's probably forgotten about it all already.
Do you really think so?
No, Ivan. I'm scared.
And so they walked home in despair.
Perhaps if I were to send him a nice gift. Perhaps some nice Turkish towels.
Cherjikov's once promising career had literally been blown away.
Why did this happen to me? Why did I go to the theatre at all? Or why didn't I sit in the balcony with people of our own class? They love sneezing on each other.
Come to bed, Ivan.
Perhaps I should call him the General and explain matters again, but in such an honest, charming and self-effacing manner. You'd have no choice but to forgive me.
Perhaps it's best not to remind the General.
No, if I ever expect to become a gentleman, I must behave like one.
And so the morning came. It so happened this was the day the General listened to petitions. And since there were 50 to 60 petitions ahead of Cherjikov, he waited from morning till late afternoon.
Next! Next!
I'm not next, Your Excellency. I'm last.
Very well then. Last.
That's me, sir.
Then what is your petition?
Well, I have no petition, sir.
Then you waste my time.
Do you not recognise me, sir?
What?
We met last night under rather explosive circumstances. I'm the splatterer.
The what?
The sneezer. The one who sneezed on you. The sneezing splatterer.
And what is it you want now? A Gesundheit?
No, Your Excellency. Your forgiveness. I just wanted to point out that there was no political or anti-social motivation behind my sneeze. It was a non-partisan, non-violent act of God. I curse the day the protuberance formed itself in my face. It's a hateful no, sir, and I cannot be blamed for its indiscretions. Punish that which committed the crime, but absolve the innocent body behind it. Exile my nose, sir, but forgive me, your kindship, forgive me.
Oh, my dear young man, I'm not angry with your nose. I have no time to worry about your nasal problems. Why don't you go home and take a hot bath or a cold one? Take anything. Only don't bother me with this silly business again. Gibber, gibber, gibber. That's all I've heard all day. Gibber, gibber.
God bless you, sir, and your wife and your household. May your days be sweet, and may your nights be better than your days.
The feeling of relief that came over Cherjikov was enormous.
May the birds sing in the morning at your window, and may the coffee in your cup be strong and hot.
The weight of the burden that was lifted was inestimable.
I worship the chair that you sit on, and I worship the uniform that you wear that sits on the chair that I worship.
He walked home singing and whistling like a lark. Life was surely a marvel, a joy, a heavenly paradise.
Oh God, I am happy.
And yet, when he arrived home, he began to think.
Have I been the butt of a cruel and thoughtless joke?
Had the minister toyed with him?
If he had no intention of punishing me, why did he not torment me so unmercifully?
If the sneeze meant so little to the minister, why did he deliberately cause Cherjikov to writhe in his bed?
To twist in agony the entire night.
Cherjikov was furious.
I am furious!
He foamed and fumed and paced the night through, and in the morning he called out to his wife, Sonia!
Sonia, I have been humiliated.
You, Ivan? Who would humiliate you? You're such a kind and generous person.
Who? I'll tell you who. General Brasilov, the Minister of Public Parks.
What did he do?
This swine. He tormented me in such a subtle fashion that it was almost indiscernible. The man's cunning is almost equal to his cruelty. He practically forced me to come to his office, to grovel and beg on my knees. I was reduced to a gibbering idiot.
You were that reduced?
I must go back. I must go back and tell him what I think of him. The lower classes must speak up. The world must be made safe so that men of all nations and creeds, regardless of their religion or colour, shall be free to sneeze on their superiors. It is he who will be humiliated by I.
And so the next morning, Cherchikov came to humiliate he.
Lost! Well?
Well? Well, you say? Do you not recognise me, Your Excellency? Yes, you're quite right. It is I once again.
It is you once again. Who?
Cherchikov, Your Excellency. And I've returned taking neither a hot nor a cold bath.
Who let this filthy man in? What is it?
What is it? What is it, you ask? You sit there behind your desk and ask me, what is it? You sit there in your lofty position, a high-standing member of upper-class society, and ask me, a lowly paid civil servant, what is it? You sit there in full knowledge, knowing that there's no equality in this life, that there are those of us that serve, and those that are served. There are those of us that obey, and those that are obeyed. There are those of us that bow, and those that are bowed to. That in this life there are certain events cause some of us to be humiliated, and those that are the cause of that humiliation. And still you ask, what is it?
What is it? Don't stand there gibbering like an idiot. What is it you want?
I'll tell you what I want. I just wanted to apologise again, sir, for sneezing on you. I wasn't sure if I made it clear. It was an accident, I assure you.
Out! Out, you fool! You imbecile! You idiot! I never want to see you again. If you ever cross my line of vision again, I'll have you exiled forever. What's your name?
Cherchikov.
You germ spreader. You maggot. You insect. Oh, you're lower than an insect. You're the son-in-law of a cockroach. The stepson of a bedbug. The nephew of a ringworm. You're nothing. Do you hear me? Nothing. Nothing. Oh, nothing.
At that moment, something broke loose inside of Cherchikov. Something so deep and vital, so organic, that the damage that was done seemed irreparable. Something drained from him that can only be described as the very life force itself. The matter was over, for once, for all, forever. What happened next was quite simple. Ivan Ilyich Cherchikov arrived at home, locked the door, lay down on the sofa, and died. Wait. For those who are offended by life's cruelty, there is an alternative ending. Ivan Ilyich Cherchikov went home, locked the door, lay down on the sofa, and inherited 5 million rubles! There's not much point to it, but it is uplifting. I assure you, it is not my intention to paint life any harsher than it is. But some of us are indeed trapped. Witness the predicament of a young governess who cares for and educates the children of a well-to-do family.
Julia!
Trapped indeed.
Julia! Julia!
Yes, madam.
Look at me, child. Pick your head up. I like to see your eyes when I speak to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And how are the children coming along with their French lessons?
Oh, they're very bright children, madam.
Eyes up. They're bright, you say. And why not? And mathematics. They're doing well in mathematics, I assume.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Especially Vanya.
Certainly. I knew it. I excelled in mathematics. He gets that from his mother, wouldn't you say?
Yes, ma'am.
Head up. That's it. Don't be afraid to look people in the eyes, my dear. If you think of yourself as inferior, that's exactly how people will treat you.
Yes, ma'am.
A quiet girl, aren't you? Now then, let's settle our accounts. I imagine you must be needing money, although you've never asked me for it yourself. Let's see now. We agreed on 30 rubles a month, did we not?
40, ma'am.
No, 30. I made a note of it. I always pay my governesses 30. Who told you 40?
You did, ma'am. I spoke to no one else concerning money.
Impossible. Maybe you thought I said 40 when I said 30. If you kept your head up, that wouldn't happen. Look at me again and I'll say it clearly. 30 rubles a month.
If you say so, ma'am.
Settled. 30 a month it is. Now then, you've been here 2 months exactly.
2 months and 5 days.
No, exactly 2 months. I made a note of it. You should keep books the way I do and there wouldn't be these discrepancies. So we have 2 months at 30 rubles a month comes to 60 rubles, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Subtract 9 Sundays. We did agree to subtract Sundays, didn't we?
No, ma'am.
Eyes, certainly we did. I've always subtracted Sundays. I didn't bother making a note of it because I always do it. Don't you recall when I said we would subtract Sundays?
No, ma'am.
Think.
No, ma'am.
You weren't thinking. Your eyes were wandering. Look straight at my face and look hard. Do you remember now?
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't hear you, Julia.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. I was sure you'd remember. Plus 3 holidays, correct?
2, ma'am. Christmas and New Year.
And your birthday, that makes 3.
But I worked on my birthday, ma'am.
You did? There was no need. My governesses never worked on their birthdays.
But I did work, ma'am.
But that's not the question, Julia. We're discussing financial matters now. I will, however, only count 2 holidays if you insist. Do you insist?
I did work, ma'am.
Then you do insist.
No, ma'am.
Very well. That's 3 holidays, therefore we take off 12 rubles. Now then, 4 days little Collier was sick and there were no lessons.
But I gave lessons to Vanya.
True, but I engaged you to teach 2 children, not 1. Should I pay you in full for doing only half the work?
No, ma'am.
So we'll deduct it. Now 3 days you had a toothache and my husband gave you permission not to work after lunch, correct?
After 4, I worked until 4.
I have here, did not work after lunch. We have luncheon at 1 and are finished at 2, not 4, correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
But that's another 7 rubles. 7 and 12 is 19, subtract, that leaves 41 rubles, correct?
If you say so, ma'am.
Now then, on January the 4th, you broke a teacup and saucer. Is that true?
Just the saucer, ma'am.
And what good is a teacup without a saucer, eh? That's 2 rubles. Oh, the saucer was an heirloom. It cost far more, but never mind, let it go. I'm used to taking losses.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now then, January the 9th, Collier climbed a tree and tore his jacket.
But I forbade him to do so, ma'am.
But he didn't listen, did he? 10 rubles. January the 14th, Vanya's shoes were stolen.
By the maid. Ma'am, you discharged her yourself.
But you get paid good money to watch everything. I explained that at our first meeting. Perhaps you weren't listening that day, Julia. Were you listening or was your head in the clouds?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, your head was in the clouds?
I was listening, ma'am.
Good girl. So that means another 5 rubles off. Yes, the 16th of January I gave you 10 rubles.
No, you didn't.
But I made a note of it. Why would I make a note of it if I didn't give it to you, eh? No answer? Then I must have given it to you, mustn't I?
If you say so, ma'am.
Now then, take 27 from 41. That leaves 14, correct? Oh, what's this? Dears, are you crying? Has something made you unhappy, Julia? Oh, it pains me to see you like this. I'm so sensitive to tears. What is it?
Only once since I have been here have I ever been given any money. And that was by your husband on my birthday. He gave me 3 rubles.
Really? Oh, there's no note of it in my book. I must put it down now. Thank you for telling me. 3 rubles. Oh, sometimes I'm a little lax with my accounts. Always shortchanging myself. So then we take 3 more from 14 leaves 11. Do you wish to check my figures?
That's not necessary, Mum.
Then we're all settled. Here's your salary for 2 months, dear. 11 rubles. Come, count it.
Oh, that's not necessary, Mum.
Come on now, let's keep the record straight. Count it.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, there's only 10, Mum.
Are you sure? Oh, possibly you dropped one. Look on the floor and see if there's a coin there.
I didn't drop any, Mum. I'm quite sure of it.
Well, it's not here on my desk, and I know I gave you 11 rubles. Look on the floor.
It's all right, Mum. 10 rubles will be fine.
Well, keep the 10 for now, and if we don't find it later on, we'll discuss it next month.
Yes, Mum. Thank you, Mum. You're very kind, Mum.
Julia, come back here. Why did you thank me?
For the money, Mum.
For the money. But don't you realise what I've done? I've cheated you. Robbed you. I made no such notes in my book. I made up whatever came into my mind. Instead of the 80 rubles which I owe you, I gave you only 10. I've actually stolen from you, and still you thank me. Why?
In the other places that I've worked, they didn't give me anything at all.
Oh, then they cheated you even worse than I did. I was playing a little game on you, a cruel lesson to teach you. You're much too trusting, and in this world that's a dangerous thing. Here, I have the entire 80 rubles for you in this pouch. Here, take it. Go on. Take it.
As you wish, Mum.
Julia! Is it possible to be so spineless? Why don't you protest? Why don't you speak up? Why don't you cry out against this cruel and unjust treatment? Is it really possible to be this innocent, this guileless, this such a... Oh, pardon me for being so blunt. Such a simpleton.
Yes, Mum. It's possible.
Wait. For those again who are affected by life's cruelty, there is an alternative ending. Julia was so enraged by such cruel and unjust treatment that she quit her job on the spot and went back to her poor parents, where she inherited 5 million rubles. It is my intention someday to write a book of 37 short stories, all with that same ending. I do love it so. You know that it has been said that man is the only living creature that is capable of laughter, and it is that faculty that separates us from the lower forms of life. Yet, one must wonder about this theory when we examine some of the objects of our laughter. For example, pain. Pain, needless to say, is no laughing matter, unless, of course, it is someone else that is doing the suffering. Why the sight of a man in the throes of excruciating agony from an abscessed tooth that has enlarged his jaw to the size of an orange is funny? I couldn't say. It is not funny, not in the least. But in the village of Ostend, where they have very little access to entertainment, a man with a toothache can tickle their ribs for weeks. Certainly Sergei von Miglas, the sexton, saw nothing humorous about it.
Greetings, Father. What brings you here?
The pain. It's unbearable. It's beyond unbearable. It's unendurable.
And where exactly is this pain?
Where isn't it? It's everywhere. It's not just the tooth. It's the whole side of my mouth.
And how long have you had this agony?
10 years.
10 years?
Since yesterday morning. It seems like 10 years. Oh, I must have sinned terribly to deserve this. God must have put aside all other business just to punish me. Where's the doctor?
The doctor is away in personal business. We left the care of his patients in my young and capable hands.
Are you a doctor?
In every way except a degree. I am a doctor to be.
Then I'm a patient to be. Goodbye.
I can assure you, Father, the only thing that prevents me from being called a doctor is the formality of an examination. I'm skilled, I'm just not titled. Now please, I beg you for this opportunity. Please sit in the chair, Father.
Oh, heaven help me. Oh, even sitting hurts.
No doubt the nerves are inflamed. Once removed, the pain will cease to be.
You're going to take away the nerves.
The tooth that's connected to the nerves. It's a simple matter of surgery.
Oh,
There. Now let's see what we have here.
merciful God, I pray for you. I pray to the saints and to the good God in heaven. Be gentle with me. Spare me pain.
My dear Sexton, we are now living in an advanced age of science. In capable hands, there is no longer a need for pain. If it's gentleness you want, it's gentleness you'll have. Now, are you ready? Good. Now open your mouth so I can examine you. Come, Father, open your mouth, please. My dear Sexton, inexperienced as I am, I know that it's essential for any work concerning the mouth to have it open first. It would be highly impractical for me to pull the tooth from the outside. Now please open up. Not the lips, the entire mouth. I don't want to brush your teeth, I want to examine them.
Will you be gentle?
Didn't I promise you I would?
As a child I was promised many things I never got.
There is no pain connected to this part. This is merely an examination to find out what must be done, where and how. Now open up. Good. Now let's see what we have here. Ah, yes, there's the ugly little fellow. Oh, you're a nasty one, aren't you?
Don't talk to it. Don't make friends with it. Pull it out.
Don't brush me, I'm evaluating. There's a hole in your tooth big enough to drive a horse and carriage through. Oh,
What is it?
that's even disgusting to look at. But if this is going to be my profession, I'm going to have to get used to these things. Now then, I'm going to try something.
Be gentle with me.
As though I were your own mother.
My mother doesn't like me. Gentler.
Now I want to see how exposed the nerve is. Now all I'm going to do is gently blow on your tooth. That's all. All right? Excuse me. Ah, here goes. I have some news for you. The nerve is exposed.
Is that how far science has advanced? Blowing on teeth.
The results are still inconclusive. More work has to be done in this field. Ah, here we are.
What are you going to do with that?
The tooth has to be removed. It'll be out quicker than you can spit.
I pray for you. May the Lord grant mercy on you. May He grant you health and quickness. Mostly quickness.
Amen.
Oh.
Good. Now this will come out easily. Some teeth give you trouble, I admit, but that's only when the roots are deep. I hope you prayed for shallow roots. Now then, here goes. Don't do that. Don't grab my hand. Let go. Let go, I say. Good. You've got my hand again. If I'm going to pull your tooth, I'm going to need my hand. Now let go. Are you going to let go of my hand? My dear Sexton, if you don't let go of my hand, I'm going to take these forceps and pull your fingers out. Good. Now let's try once more. Now then. Don't sit still. You're twitching. You're twitching again. Come, Father. Now the important thing is to get a firm grip on the ground so that it doesn't break. Now then, now I've got a firm grip on the little monster. Now, the important thing is for you to not grab my hand. I'm going to have enough trouble as it is without you holding on. Now then, on the count of 3, I'm going to pull the tooth. Steady, Father. 1, 2, 3! I pulled it out. My first tooth.
You pulled it, okay? I hope I pull you in the next world the same way.
Oh, I knew it. The crown broke. The roots are still in your mouth. Oh, what a mess this is going to be. I told you not to twitch.
You butcher. You carpenter. You're God's punishment for my sins. Compared to you, the toothache was a joy.
You ignorant peasant. The only thing harder than the roots in your teeth are the brains in your head. Now get back in the chair. We have unfinished business.
Stay away from me, sorcerer. If you put your fingers in my mouth, it'll be the first solid food I've eaten for weeks.
You're not leaving here until the roots come out. It's a matter of professional pride.
Let me out of here. No. Let me go. I give up.
I failed in my duty.
Come, my son. Let's pray for a miracle. Dear God in heaven.
Dear God above.
Look down on this good dog.
I pray for this poor creature.
Keep his hands steady.
Keep his mouth open.
May he not falter.
Don't let him bite me.
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary. Come, Father.
In the vicinity of Vishenko Square, there is a small park that is seldom crowded. Here and there, a pair of young lovers strolling. A mother is teaching her young child to take its first brave steps, the inevitable failure cushioned on the soft green grass. A dog owner throwing a stick for his faithful friend to fetch, which he does faithfully and interminably. A young girl calling out, "Fresh flowers for sale," which is only partly true. They're for sale, but they're not terribly fresh. Still, it's a rather lovely, peaceful and quiet setting.
Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon.
Fine weather. Fine weather indeed, wouldn't you say, madam?
I hadn't noticed, really. Yes. Yes, I suppose it is a lovely day.
Not many more of these left. Winter is just beyond that tree there.
The winters seem to be getting longer lately. Have you noticed that? They come sooner and stay longer.
I've noticed it, madam. Only in these last few years have I noticed it. I was wondering, madam.
Yes?
I was wondering. Do you have the time of day?
I don't carry a timepiece.
No matter. It wasn't urgent. My business can wait. Yes, it can wait. It seems to be clouding up a bit.
Yes, I'm beginning to feel a chill in the air.
Oh, would you like my scarf for your neck?
Oh, thank you. No. It's getting late. I should be getting home.
Yes, of course. I was thinking the same myself. Unless...
Yes?
Unless you would care to join me for some tea. A cup of hot tea. It might be just the right thing, a cup of tea.
Tea? Tea, you say? Well, that's very nice of you. I would love to.
You would?
Yes. But not today. It's getting late. Perhaps tomorrow?
Yes, of course. Perhaps tomorrow. Good. There's always tomorrow.
Good day, sir.
Good day, madam. Oh, your glove. There's always tomorrow.
One would never suspect this charming little spot would soon turn into a battlefield, which it did with marked regularity each Tuesday afternoon at 3. It was a quiet war, no guns, no booming cannons, no marching feet, but nothing the less a war. The adversaries were 2 aged and retired officers, one military, the other naval. They had served their country long and with distinction, and now in the twilight of their lives still had flickerings of sparks igniting their passions, if, alas, no fire was ever started. They debated on every subject under the sun: politics, women, literature. They never seemed to run out of subjects to disagree about, and they never did agree on anything except to meet again the following Tuesday at 3 on the same bench for the purpose of continuing their disagreements. We are fortunate. Today is Tuesday, and the time you've just heard. I'd best move on, because the bench I am sitting on is the field of battle, and I have no wish to get caught in the crossfire. I will watch from a safe vantage point, there, near the children's swings. Approaching from the east comes the army. From the west, the navy. Can I have a drum roll, please? Thank you.
Cool weather we're having today.
Warmer than yesterday.
They say it may rain.
Here comes the sun. It's coming.
Your turn. Pick a subject.
I've got one.
A good one?
In my opinion.
What's the subject?
Lunch.
Lunch. Your subject is lunch?
It's my turn, isn't it? I picked lunch.
Not much of a subject in my opinion.
Does that mean you concede?
I concede nothing. I merely stated it was a poor subject. However, I accept the challenge. If it's lunch, it's lunch. Start.
Are you ready?
Would I say start if I wasn't ready? Start means I'm ready. Go ahead. Start.
Very well. Appetizers.
Appetizers, right.
To start a good lunch, the best appetizer is herring.
Wrong.
Wrong? Herring is not the best appetizer?
It's good. I didn't say it wasn't good, but it's not as good as caviar.
You're wrong. Caviar is too rich a dish for an appetizer. It should be reserved for special occasions, with a little champagne. A snack? Yes. An appetizer? Never.
Are you telling me that fresh caviar, lemon juice, finely chopped eggs, raw onions garnished with parsley, served on lightly salted wafer-thin biscuits is not a good appetizer?
Can you compare it with herring? With marinated onions? 2 large black olives in either end of the plate, sprinkled with dill. Served with the end piece of fresh baked brown bread to soak up the dripping of the herring, the onion and the dill, and one final succulent mouthful. Huh?
You argue well. I concede the appetizer.
Thank you. Now, for the soup.
Well, I don't think we'll have much argument here. Borscht.
Borscht. You pick borscht. Out of all the soups in God's creation, you pick an ordinary dish of borscht.
Not in a dish. In a bowl. And there is nothing ordinary about piping hot borscht prepared with sweet sugar beets, Ukrainian style with ham and country sausages, and topped with a thick white sour cream. Are you prepared to challenge a soup like that?
I'd sooner have cabbage soup, steaming from the pot, with thick chunks of boiled potatoes and globs of tender meat hanging from the bone. And sooner than cabbage soup, I take a full-bodied vegetable soup, with fresh asparagus, with carrots, with peas and beans. Sooner than a vegetable soup, I take a fish soup with tripe and giblets and young kidneys swimming on top, so thick you'd have to push your way into the soup.
Wait a minute. I'm not talking about ordinary, run-of-the-mill, prepared in a restaurant borscht. I'm talking about peasant borscht. The kind that you eat with a pound of hot cornbread in your left hand, and in your right hand, a thick, heavy wooden spoon.
A wooden spoon. That's different. You didn't mention a wooden spoon before. I concede the soup.
Accepted.
How do we stand?
You won the appetizer, I won the soup.
So far, it's a very close lunch. Next course.
Next course is fish.
Fish. Oh, well, we can forget about the fish. Don't particularly care for fish. Whatever you choose for fish is fine with me.
You don't like fish?
No, I'm not dead set against it. It's all right once in a great while, but it's not substantial. It never satisfies me. For me, the most important part of the meal is the roast. You choose a fish and then we can get on with the roast.
So, you concede the fish?
Oh, mention a fish and I'll concede.
Pike. A nice piece of pike.
Carp is better.
But you just conceded the fish.
I didn't know you were going to say pike. I don't find pike a tasty fish.
A nice piece of pike fried with brown butter, With stewed tomatoes and a thick mushroom sauce? That's not tasty.
It's all right if you smother it with carp. Broiled in lemon juice.
But you already conceded the fish.
All right. Change it to carp and I'll concede.
But carp is your fish. Then I'd be conceding.
Well, you could have chosen carp ahead of me. The option was yours.
Will you concede if I drop the pike and pick another fish?
That's fair enough. What do you choose?
Brook trout broiled with sliced almonds.
Poached salmon and hollandaise sauce.
I thought you didn't like fish.
Maybe it's just the fish that you like that I don't like.
You're purposely doing this.
Are you accusing me of being false to my taste? You dishonour me.
I dishonour no one. I call for a stalemate on the fish.
Stalemate? So soon? Why? When there are so few fish I like.
All right. Fillet of sole cooked with white wine and grapes.
Sea bass and black bean sauce.
Stalemate, stalemate.
Calm down. I'm still to get on with the roast. Agreed. Stalemate.
I don't understand why there should be a stalemate when pike is so delicious, especially after we just had borscht.
What's past is past. The table is cleared. Time to get on to the roast. Your turn.
I pass.
You pass on the roast?
I pass on my turn. I want you to go first. I don't trust you anymore.
Oh, makes no difference to me. I contend that the best roast is boiled beef. Served with white hot horseradish. With pearl onions, peas and beans and white bread. And cold spring wine. Oh, I can smell it now. It's all I can do to contain my mouth from dripping with saliva. It is, I believe, your turn. Unless you concede to boiled beef.
I do not concede to boiled beef.
Then mention, if you can, a better roast.
Pike. A nice piece of pike.
Pike is a fish. We're through with the fish course.
Not in the case of a stalemate. In a stalemate, you can always go back and try again.
When was that decided?
Just now. I decided it.
Well, if you say pike, I say brook trout again. Double stalemate. Next course. Main. Boiled beef, your turn.
Boiled beef. Herring, borscht, and boiled beef. It's a meal for a cold, hungry foot soldier, not for a commanding officer and a gentleman.
Do you challenge me or not?
Oh, I could challenge your boiled beef with a small partridge. I could challenge it with a brace of quail. I could challenge your boiled beef with a firm, young roast turkey.
Roast turkey, You may have something there.
I could challenge your boiled beef with a hen. A fat, juicy, white meat, thick-breasted hen.
A hen. Certainly. Hen is always nice.
But I'm not going to. I challenge your boiled beef with a duck.
Duck? I didn't think of duck. How could I overlook duck? What kind of duck?
A duckling. A round, plump, young duckling. One that has had the taste of ice in the first frost, and then it is roasted. Pan roasted to a crisp, golden brown. The skin so crisp that it crackles in your mouth.
I concede to duck.
Roasted with the potatoes, cut small in the dripping pan.
I concede, I said.
And the potatoes are turned and soaked in the duck fat. And in the pan, young onions are beginning to turn a deep, dark brown, sizzling and frying in the butter and the fat. And the aroma, the aroma wafts into your nostrils, driving your taste buds into a stage of frenzy.
How many times do I have to concede? Are you deaf? You're deliberately doing this to get back at me for not liking pike. I conceded to duck, all right. The main course is over. Time for the dessert, for God's sake.
And the duck. The duck is basking in the juice of Spanish oranges.
Enough already! You're acting like a child over a silly piece of pike.
You should try it sometime. With butter and oil. You won't think it's so silly.
Did you want to continue or not?
Go ahead. I'm still savouring my duck.
For dessert, I choose...
Yes?
I choose for dessert...
Well, out with it. If you can't think of one, I'll choose.
I'm thinking. I want to end the perfect meal with a perfect dessert. I choose for dessert...
Cold peaches, sweet cream and brandy.
Peachy sweet cream and brandy. That's mine. I choose peachy sweet cream and brandy. You can't take my dessert.
I can if it takes you an hour to think of it. For a meal to be perfect, it's not what you eat, it's when it is served. If I waited for you to think of it, I would be hungry again.
I refuse to argue with you anymore.
So, you concede the lunch?
Are you through choosing?
Certainly I'm through choosing. We've gone through all the courses, haven't we? The lunch is over. I've won a clear-cut victory. Concede the fact and we can go home.
But you're through choosing. As far as you're concerned, the lunch is over.
Of course it's over. What in the name of God could follow cold peaches, sweet cream and brandy?
A cigar! A thick black Panatella cigar, followed by a 2-hour nap.
I forgot. I forgot a cigar and a nap.
You know what kind of nap you have after a good cigar? A delicious nap. No, not a heavy, tiring kind of sleep like you have at night, no. A light nap is delicate. You sleep soft and warm, with the kind of dreams you had when you were 30. That's how you end a perfect lunch.
How could I forget a cigar and a nap?
And I'm not through yet.
Oh.
After the nap, a mint. A white, tangy peppermint. Takes away the entire sour taste of the mouth.
All right. Enough already. You've won. You don't have to rub me nose in it.
And with the mint,
Oh.
the afternoon newspaper.
Oh.
And you sit there, with a blanket in your lap, a cosy fire, and a dog to rub your toes on. As you sit there with your body warm to the perfect temperature, you read only good news in the paper. There's political trouble in France. There's starvation in Ireland. And England is in a financial crisis. But here, everything is good. And just before you drop off into the perfect sleep, a letter arrives. The Tsar has awarded you another medal. And as you close your eyes, the perfect lunch is over. You have nothing to do for the rest of the day until the perfect dinner is served. Would you like to challenge me for the perfect dinner? You can go first. Hors d'oeuvre.
It's my turn to pick a subject, not yours.
I don't feel like it. I don't feel well. A little chilly.
You don't look so good. A little pale. Maybe you should see a doctor.
You're right. I think I'll call in and see Dr. Wyszynski.
Wyszynski? That butcher. He knows as much about doctoring as my 3-year-old granddaughter.
You say that there's a better doctor in all Russia than Dr. Wyszynski?
You challenge me?
I challenge you. But not today. Next week.
Next week it is. You're right, you know, it is getting chilly.
No, it's getting warm. Here comes the sun.
It'll rain before you get home.
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Just getting a little night air to clear my mind. That's good. That's wonderful. The sea air is so refreshing. It revitalizes my entire body. But my mind is blocked. I have no thoughts, no ideas. Most unusual for me. Most times they fill up my brain and overflow it like a cascading fountain. And tonight, nothing is coming. My nerves are tightening. Oh, God, help me. No, I take that back. I mustn't rely on a collaboration with the Almighty. It's selfishness to ask God to take time out to help me come up with an idea for a story. Forgive me, dear Lord. I'll go home and try to sleep. Tomorrow is another day. If, however, anything does occur to me tonight, I would appreciate you making it known to me. Oh, home. I must get home to bed before this thing becomes serious. Oh.
Psst! You, ma'am. Can I have a word with you?
Who's there? I can't see you in the dark.
Evening, ma'am. I was wondering if you're in the mood for a little entertainment this evening.
Entertainment? I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure you do, ma'am. Entertainment, amusement, so to speak. A little diversion, if you know what I mean.
I think I do know what you mean, and I'm not interested. Go on, off with you. You should know better than to make such a proposal to a lady.
You've never witnessed anything like this before. That, I promise you. This is a once-in-a-lifetime offer. Not even a little bit curious?
Curiosity is the nature of my profession, but I try to keep it morally elevated. Excuse me.
Perhaps you're right, ma'am. On second thought, this might be too much for a lady of your sensitivities.
Wait.
Got you with that last one, didn't I?
I'm just asking, mind you, but just exactly what is this entertainment you speak of?
Well, how would you like to see a drowned man?
I beg your pardon?
A drowned man? A man with his lungs filled up with salt water and stone dead from drowning. How much would you pay to see that?
Pay? Pay to see a drowned man? Are you mad? I wouldn't look at a drowned man if they paid me. Why would I want to see a drowned man? What is the point in looking at a person who has drowned? You are mad. Get out of here.
Well, 3 rubles, ma'am. That's all it'll cost you. 3 to see him first, before he's in the water, then the agonising act of drowning. The grand finale. The man already drowned. Rest his soul.
What are you saying? That the man isn't drowned yet? That he's still alive and well?
Not only alive and well, but dry as a bone and standing before you, for I am the drowned man.
You? You're going to drown yourself for 3 rubles? You expect me to pay for your own suicide? I must get away from this lunatic.
No. You've got it all wrong, ma'am. I don't actually drown. I impersonate a drowned man. I jump into the icy cold water, splash around a bit, flail my arms up, yell for help a few times, go under, bubble, 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 and come up head floating down. All puffy like. It sends a chill up your spine. 3 rubles for individual performances, special rates for groups. Show starts in 2 minutes.
I can't believe I'm actually discussing the price of admission to a drowning.
You miss the whole point, ma'am. This is not some sort of cheap thrill. It's a rich tableau filled with social implications.
A drama. Not tragic, but ironical. In view of its comic features.
Comic? What's comic about it?
I blow up my cheeks and bulge my eyes out. Yell for help in a high, squeaky voice. It sounds like a pig squealing. I'm the only one on the waterfront who can do it.
You expect me to pay to hear an underwater pig squealer?
I've just had a very successful season, ma'am. Sold out in August. What'd you say? Would you like me to book you in now? For the dinner show?
What do you mean, dinner show?
I jump in, flail around and throw you a nice fish. I think halibuts are running now, ma'am.
Why do I stand here listening to this?
I wish you make up your mind soon, ma'am. In 5 minutes, that restaurant throws its garbage in the water. Then it's messy. I have my pride.
To hell with your pride. It doesn't prevent you from making a living imitating a deceased swimmer.
You shouldn't have to strike at a man's vulnerable points. That was cruel, ma'am.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be cruel.
You completely overlook the finer points of my profession. Look here. Do you ever see a coal miner at the end of the day? Filth and grime all over his body, soot up his nostrils and in his ears, black grit in his teeth. Disgusting. Or a barber who goes home at night with cuttings of other people's hair sticking to his hands. He gets it in his bread, in his soup. It's nauseating. Do you know where a surgeon puts his fingers?
Oh, please!
Or a farmer his feet? Every man who works eventually touches something filthy. On the other hand, I deal with water. Water is wet. It's clean. It's purifying. I don't have to take a bath when I come home at night. I've done it. Can you say the same, ma'am?
Do you expect me to discuss my toilette habits with you? My God, you're infuriating. There must be a carriage around here somewhere. Cabby! Cabby!
You'll regret it. You'll be back one night, bored to death, dying to see a good drowning, and I'll be gone. This is my last week here. I close on Sunday. Next week, I'm in Yalta.
There is a police officer. Now, if you don't leave me alone, I shall have you arrested for soliciting.
Oh, I'm no soliciting. I'm in the maritime entertainment business.
Drowning is not maritime entertainment. You are a waterfront lunatic. Officer! Officer!
I'm going. I'll tell you what though, the drowning business isn't what it used to be.
Can I help you, madam?
Officer, there's a man over there behind the dock. There. He has been pestering me all evening. I shouldn't be surprised if it were deranged.
There's a lot of bad cats around these docks at night, ma'am. A lady like yourself shouldn't be wandering around. What was he pestering you about?
Well, I'm warning you. You're going to find this strange. He wanted to charge me 3 rubles to watch him drown. Can you imagine?
Strange. It's outright thievery. It's not worth more than 60 kopecks. You can get a finer drowning as you'd want and not pay a penny more. 3 rubles. What nerve.
No, officer, you seem to miss the point.
There's 2 brothers on the next pier there. For 1 ruble each, they'll give you a double drowning. You have to know how to bargain with these men, ma'am, and get your money's worth.
No. It's not a question of the price.
3 rubles. Why, the other day, right over there, 60 men acted out an entire shipwreck for 3 rubles. And on a good day, for 10 rubles, you can get an entire navy going down. Yes, ma'am, 60 kopecks, that's all I'd pay for a good drowning. Stick to your price, ma'am, and have a good evening.
It's come. It's finally come. The day that the world has gone mad has arrived at last.
Psst. Psst.
I see the officer's gone, ma'am. What did you tell him?
Tell him. I told him the truth, that you were mentally unstable. Unfortunately, he was a little more mentally unstable.
Still, I appreciate you not causing me any trouble, and in gratitude, I'm reducing my price to an all-time low. 80 kopecks!
80. 80? You thief. You conniving, wretched, deceiving little thief. I won't pay you more than 60.
60? 60 kopecks for a drowning? But where's my profit? My towels cost me 40 kopecks, another 40's for the fellow who fishes me out. I'll be losing money on it. Dag, what's the point? I might as well just stay under.
You can't cheat me, sir. 60 kopecks for the drowning. Take it or leave it.
You're a hard lady. A hard lady. 60 kopecks it is. I pray to God my son doesn't want to be a drowner.
30, 40, 50, 60. There is your money. Now, where shall I stand?
Right on the edge of the dock, ma'am. That's where you'll see all the action.
Well, it's a bit dark down there. Are you sure I'll be able to see well?
That is what makes it so eerie.
Oh.
The eerier, the more entertaining. All the action's in the last 10 seconds anyway. Well, here I go. Oh, I almost forgot. When I come up for the third time, yell at the top of your lungs, Popnichevsky! Popnichevsky!
Who's Popnichevsky?
He's the fellow who jumps in after me. I can't swim, ma'am.
You can't swim? You mean you're going to drown yourself and you don't know how to swim?
That's what makes it so exciting. Popnichevsky always waits till the last second before jumping in and pulling me out. He's in that restaurant, ma'am, having a drink. Popnichevsky. Don't forget the name. Well, I hope you enjoy the show. If you like it, tell your friends. In the soup, as they say. Help!
Over here, a little bit towards me. I can't see you too well there. Oh, oh, good. Oh, very good. Yes, well, that's enough of that bit. I don't want to see that anymore. I don't have all night. Could you drown now? Can you hear me? I said, I'd like to have you drown now. Oh, where the devil is he? Oh, there you are. Oh, that's the third time, isn't it? Oh. Good heavens. What was that fellow's name?
With you in a minute.
Next actress, please. Next actress, please. Name. Name.
What?
Your name.
Nina.
Nina, is that it? Just Nina?
Yes, sir. Oh, no, sir. Oh, Nina Mikhailovna Zarechnia.
Age.
My age?
Yes, please. That means how old are you?
Well, how old are you looking for, sir?
Couldn't you answer the question simply, please?
Well, yes, sir, but... Well, I just wanted you to know I can be any age you like. 16, 30... Oh, in school, I played a 17 79-year-old rheumatic woman, and everyone said it was very believable. A 78-year-old rheumatic woman told me so herself.
Yes, but I'm not looking for a 78-year-old rheumatic woman. I'm looking for a 22-year-old girl. How old are you?
22, sir.
Really? I would have guessed 27 or 28.
Oh, it's because I've got a bad head cold, sir. It makes me look older. Last year, when I had influenza, the doctor thought I was 39. I promise, sir, I can look 22 when you need it.
Do you know the temperature?
Yes, sir. 103.
God. What are you doing walking around in the dead of winter with 100 degree temperature? Go home, child. Go to bed. You can come back some other time.
No, please, sir. I've waited 6 months for this edition. I waited 3 months just to get on the 6-month waiting list. If they put me back on the bottom of that list again, it'll be another 6 months, and by that time I'll be 23, and it'll be too late for 22. Please, sir. Won't you just hear me read? I'm feeling much better. I think I'm on 101 now.
I can see you have your heart set on being an actress.
Oh, my heart, my soul, the blood in my veins, the bones in my body.
Yes, we've had enough of your medical history. But what practical experience have you had?
As what?
Well, for example, the thing we're discussing, acting. How much acting experience have you had?
Do you mean on a stage?
That's as good a place as any.
Well, I studied acting for 3 years under Madame Zoblineska.
She teaches here in Moscow.
Oh no, in my high school in Odessa. She was a very great actress herself.
Here in Moscow?
No, in Odessa.
You are then, strictly speaking, an amateur.
Well, yes, sir, in Moscow. But in Odessa, I'm a professional.
Yes, that's all very well. But you see, we need a 22-year-old professional actress in Moscow. Odessa, although I grant you a lovely city, theatrically speaking, is not Moscow. I would advise you to get more experience and take some aspirins.
Please, sir. I've travelled 4 days to get here. Will you not just hear me read?
My dear child, I find this very embarrassing.
Even if you did not employ me, just to read for you would be an honour I would cherish for the rest of my life. If I may be so bold, sir, I think you're one of the greatest living authors in all of Russia.
Really? That's very kind of you. Perhaps we do have a few minutes.
Oh, I've read almost everything you've ever written, sir. The articles, or the stories. I love that one about. Oh, you know the one. Every time I think about it, I can't control myself.
Really? Which story is that?
Oh, the death of a government clerk, sir. Oh my God, I laugh for days.
Death of a government? I don't remember that. What was that about?
Chechikov. The sneeze. The sneeze in Splatterer.
Oh, yes. You found that funny, did you? Strange. I meant it to be sad.
Oh, it was sad. It was tragically funny.
Was it really? And of everything you've read, what was your favourite?
My very favourite.
Yes, what was it?
Tolstoy's War and Peace. You asked me what my favourite was.
Well, you're an honest little thing, aren't you? It's refreshing. Irritating, but refreshing. Very well. What are you going to read for me?
Oh, I should like to read from the Three Sisters, sir.
Indeed. Which sister?
All of them. Oh, if you've got the time.
All of them? Good heavens. Why don't you read the entire play while you're at it?
Oh, thank you, sir. I know the whole thing. Wait a minute. Sorry, sir. Act 1. A drawing room in the Prozorov's house. It's midday. A bright sun is shining through the large French door.
That's not necessary. An excerpt will do nicely, thank you.
Oh, yes, sir. I should like to do the last moment of the play.
Good, good. That shouldn't take too long. Whenever you're ready.
Well, I've been ready for 6 months, sir. Not counting the 3 months it took me to get on the 6-month wait.
Please! Begin.
Oh, sir, could you say, Tarara Bumdie, sit in the curb I may?
Certainly not. Why would I say such an idiotic thing?
Well, I don't know, sir, you wrote it. Chaputkin says it at the end of the play. It would really help me, sir, if you could just say that one line. I've travelled 4 days to get here, sir. I walked all the way from Odessa.
All right. All right. Very well, then. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Tarara Bumdie, sit on the curb I may.
And Masha says, oh, listen to the music. They're leaving us. One is gone for good, forever. And we are left alone to live our lives over again. We must live. We must live. And Irina says, a time will come when everyone will know what all this is for and why there is all this suffering, and there will be no mystery. For now we must live, we must work. Only work. Tomorrow I shall go alone and I shall teach in the school and I shall dedicate my entire life to those who need it. Now it's autumn. Soon winter will come and cover everything with snow. And I will go on working. Working. Shall I finish? And Olga says, oh, the music plays so gaily, so valiantly, one wants to live. Oh my God. Time will pass, and we shall be gone for good. We'll be forgotten. Our faces will be forgotten, our voices, and how many there were of us. But our suffering will turn to joy for those who live after us. Happiness and peace will come to this earth, and then they will remember kindly and bless those who are living now. Oh, my dear sisters, it seems as if just a little more and we shall know why we live and why we suffer. If only we knew. Oh, thank you, sir. That is all I wanted. You've made me so happy. God bless you, sir.
Will someone go get her before she walks all the way back to Odessa?
Good morning, Mr. Coachhouse. Shh, please, lower your voice.
I'm sorry, sir.
Oh, it's just that my gout is acting up again, and my nerves are like little firecrackers. The slightest friction can send them off.
It must be very painful, sir.
Oh, combing my hair this morning was agony.
Mr. Coachhouse.
What is it, Pachatkin?
There's a woman who insists on seeing you. We can't make heads or tail of her story, but she insists on seeing a directing manager. Perhaps, if you're not well...
Oh, no. The business of the bank comes before my minor physical ailments. Show her in, please. Quietly. Good morning, madame. Forgive me not standing, but I'm somewhat incapacitated. Please, take a seat.
Oh, thank you.
Now, what can I do for you?
Well, sir, you can help me. I pray to God you can help me. Nobody else in this world seems to care.
Please, calm yourself, madame. I beg of you, please, calm yourself. Now, I'm sure we can sort it all out if we just approach the problem sensibly and quietly. Now, what exactly is the trouble?
Oh, well, sir, it's my husband, Collegiate Assessor Shukin. He's been ill for 5 months. 5 agonising months.
Oh, I know the horrors of illness and I can sympathise with you, madame, but I don't quite see what it's got to do with...
He's got a nervous disorder.
Oh.
Everything grates on his nerves. If you so much as touch him, he'll scream out. Ah!
Oh.
How or why he got it, nobody knows.
Oh, I have an inkling. Please go on, a little less descriptively if possible.
Well, while he was lying in bed these 5 months...
You're not going to scream again, are you?
Not that I don't have cause. While he was lying in bed these 5 months recuperating, he was dismissed from his job for no reason at all.
Well, that's a pity, certainly, but I don't quite see what that's got to do with the bank here.
Oh, you don't know how I suffered during his illness, sir. I nursed him from morning till night. I doctored him from night till morning, besides cleaning his house, caring for his children, feeding his dog, his cat, his goat, my sister's bird that was sick.
The bird was sick?
No, my sister. She gets dizzy spells. She's been dizzy for a month now and she's dizzier every day.
Extraordinary. However, I still...
And then I had to look after her house and her children and feed her dog and her goat. And then her bird bit one of my children. So our cat bit her bird. And then my eldest daughter, the young with the broken arm, well then, she drowned my sister's cat. Now my sister wants my goat in exchange, or else she says she'll break my daughter's other arm.
Well, you've certainly had your pack of troubles, haven't you? But I don't quite see what the connection is in our bank.
And then, when I went to get my husband's pay, they deducted 24 rubles and 36 kopecks. For what, I asked? Because they said he'd borrowed from the employees' fund. But that's impossible, I said. He could never borrow without my say-so. I'd break his arm. Oh, not while he was sick, of course. I'm no well myself, sir. I've not got any strength. I've got this racking cough that's got a terrible thing to hear.
Well, I can well understand why it took your husband 5 months to recuperate. But what is it you want from me, madame?
Oh, there's 24 rubles and 36 kopecks. They won't give it to me because I'm a woman, weak and defenceless. Some of them have laughed in my face, sir. Laughed. Where's the humour, I wonder, in a poor defenceless creature like myself?
Oh, there's none. none. I see none at all, madame. But I don't wish to be unkind, but I'm afraid you've come to the wrong place. Your petition, no matter how justified, has nothing to do with us. No, you see, you'll have to go to the agency where your husband was employed.
Oh, but I've been to 5 agencies already and not one of them will listen to my petition. I'm going out of my mind. The hair's coming out of my head. By the fistful. Look at my hair. Don't tell me to go to another agency.
Please, keep your hair in its proper place, madame. Now, listen to me very carefully. This is a bank. A bank. We're in the banking business. We bank money. People bring funds here to be banked by us. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
What are you saying?
I'm saying that I can't help you.
Are you saying you can't help me?
I'm trying, but I don't think I'm making much headway.
Are you saying that you can't believe that my husband is sick? Look, here is a doctor's certificate. There's the proof. Don't tell me that you can't believe that my husband's sick now after seeing that.
Yes, I don't doubt it. Not only do I not doubt it, but I'm absolutely certain of it.
But you didn't look at it. Look at it.
Yes, I don't need to look at it. It's not necessary because I know full well how your husband must be suffering.
What's the point in a doctor's certificate if you don't look at it? Look at it!
Oh, yes, I see right here. It says your husband is sick, but yes, I'm sure you have a very good case, madame, but you've still come to the wrong place. Oh, I'm getting excited. Oh.
You lied to me.
I
took you as a man of your word and you lied to me.
When
you said you'd read the description of my husband's illness, you couldn't have read it or else you'd have seen that he'd been fired unjustly. Do me the simple courtesy of reading that. That's all I ask. Read it and then I'll go.
But I read it. What's the point in reading it twice if I've already read it once?
You didn't read it carefully. Read it again.
I read it in detail.
You didn't let it sink in. Read it again.
I don't need to read it again. I don't need to read it any slower. I'm a fast reader.
Then you need to read it slower. Read it again.
I don't need to read it slower. I'm a fast reader.
Did you read the part that says my husband's got a nervous disorder? Read that part again. See if that's not true.
That part?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
That part.
Yes, I read that part. Yes, I see your husband has a nervous disorder. My, how terrible. What has that got to do with me? Now, please, go!
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Excellency. I hope I haven't caused you any pain.
Please don't touch my foot! Oh, can't you get this into your balding head? For you, don't you realise that for you to come here with your sort of a claim is as strange as you trying to get a haircut in a butcher's shop?
A haircut in a butcher's shop? You can't get a haircut in a butcher's shop. Are you laughing at me?
Laughing? I'm lucky I'm breathing. But check in.
Did I tell you I'm fasting?
Oh, no.
I haven't eaten for 3 days. I want to eat, but nothing will stay down. I've had the same cup of coffee 3 times today. Oh.
But check in.
Look at me, I'm skin and bones. I faint at the least provocation. Oh, watch me faint. Did you see that? 8 times a day that happens to me.
What is it, Mr. Gustavo? What's wrong?
Get her out of here. Who let her into my office?
You did, sir. I asked you, and you you said shower in.
I thought you meant a human being, not a lunatic with a doctor's certificate.
I showed it to him, and he didn't read it. Though you look like a nice, kind person. Take pity on me. You read it and see if my husband's not sick or not.
I read it, madame. Twice.
Me too. I had to read it twice too.
You showed it to me outside. You showed it to everyone. We all read it. Even the doorman.
You didn't read it. You just looked at it.
Don't argue, for God's sake, Pachackin. Just read it so we can get her out of here. And you...
Oh, yes. It says your husband is sick. Now, will you please leave, madame? I'll have to get someone to remove you.
Yes, remove her. Yes, remove her. Get the doorman and two of the guards. Oh, but be careful. She's strong as an ox.
If you touch me, I'll scream. I'll scream so loud they'll hear me all over the city, and they'll lose all their depositors. No one will come to a bank where they beat weak, defenceless women. Oh, I'm going to faint again.
Weak, defenceless. You're about as weak as a charging rhinoceros. You're about as defenceless as the king of the jungle. You, madam, are a plague that wipes out all that crosses your path. You're a raging torrent that washes out bridges and stately homes. You're a wind that blows villages over mountains. It's women like you that turn men like me to the condition of husbands like yours.
Does that mean you're not going to help me?
Hit her, Pachackin! Strike her! Give my permission to knock her down! Beat her senseless!
You hear how I'm abused? Even have you abused an orphan mother? Did you hear me cough? Listen to this cough!
Did we discuss this?
Oh, get that! Merciful heavens! I've been beaten! Oh my God, I've been beaten!
I'm not beating you. I was just holding your hand.
Well, for God's sake, beat her! Go on, kick her while you've got the chance! Give my permission to knock her down! Go on! Beat her senseless!
I put a curse on you and your bank. I put a curse on you and your depositors. May the money in your vaults turn to potatoes. May the gold in your cellars turn to onions. May your rubles turn to radishes and your kopecks to pickles.
Stop! Oh, stop. I beg of you. Give her the money, Pachackin. Give her anything she wants, only for God's sake, get her out of here.
24 rubles and 36 kopecks. Not a penny more. That's all I want, that's all that's due me.
Come with me. I'll get your money.
Oh, and another ruble to get me home. I'd walk, but I've got awful weak ankles.
Give her enough for a taxi. Give her anything, but just get her out.
Oh, you're a kind man. God bless you, sir. Oh, remove the curse. Curse be gone. Money to onions, potatoes to go.
Oh, remove her! Oh, God, my hair is falling out now.
There's one more thing before I go, sir. I'm going to need a letter of recommendation so that my husband can get another job. Don't worry about it this afternoon, sir. I'll be back in the morning. God bless you, sir.
Oh, she's coming back. She's coming back.
This one goes back a good many years ago to my youth. I was 19 years old, to be exact, and in the ways of love. I was not only unschooled, I hadn't even been in the classroom. I was so innocent and shy that I actually thought that since the beginning of time, no woman had ever been completely unclothed. As for connubial bliss, I dared not think of it. And as for impregnation, I chose to believe it was caused by the husband giving the wife a most ardent handshake before retiring. And let it go at that. But my father was a wonderful man, quite liberal in his thinking. And on the occasion of my 19th birthday, he decided to introduce me to the mysteries of love. He was, however, a frugal man, and decided to escort me himself to see in the matter, or bargaining, that I would not be taken advantage of. Picture me, if you will, as my own dear father.
What a place this is. Antosha, where are you? Don't stand there in the dark shaking like a little puppy dog. Come here, we have some adolescence to get over with.
I'm not well, Father. I'm sick.
Sick? Sick? What's wrong with you?
I haven't thought of it yet. Give me a few minutes.
Fear, that's all it is. Pubescent fear. I was the same when I was your age.
I never knew you were my age, Father. I always thought of you as older.
But what do you think I was when I was with my first woman?
You were with a woman, Father.
Certainly I was with a woman. All men who've become fathers have been with a woman at some point in their lives.
The same woman?
Certainly not the same woman. My God, you never discuss these matters with your young friends?
Oh yes, all the time. But we get too excited to listen.
It's a man's obligation to enter a marriage experienced in the ways of love. Otherwise, valuable years are wasted in years of endless groping.
I don't mind wasting a few years groping, Father.
All in the process of becoming a man, Antosha. First you learn to walk, then you learn to talk, and now it's time to learn this.
Are you sure, Father? I'm not really walking and talking that well.
Antosha, we can't afford to delay any longer. I don't want you becoming an old man waiting to become a young man. Now, are you going to go over there and have your first experience with a woman? Do I have to punish you?
Oh, Father, I don't think we're going to find any women of high moral character around here.
We're not looking for highly moral women. Too damn many highly moral women in the world as it is. That's why so many highly moral men have to come down to places like this. Now, let's get on with the business.
Can I hold your hand, Father?
Certainly not. You can't go in there to become a man holding your father's hand. Oh, Antosha, we haven't got all day. Your mother's expecting us back at 9. Now, we have 1 hour and 10 minutes for you to become a man.
You mean you told Mother where we were going?
You think I'm so insensitive? I told her we were going out for a walk to get some night air.
But won't she become suspicious when I come back all grown up?
It doesn't show, Anton. You don't get spots like the measles. You might have a slight smile on your face, that's all. Now, come along.
Oh, Father, aren't there other ways of becoming a man? Couldn't I grow a moustache?
Antosha, tell me the truth. If you'd rather not go through with it, I'll take you home.
Oh, take me home.
Wait till I ask the question. Would you rather not go through with it? I'll take you home.
Oh, take me home.
I see. Very well then, I'll take you home. You can get in your bathtub and play with your sailboat until you're ready.
Will you be angry with me?
No.
Will you be disappointed in me?
No.
Will you be proud of me?
No.
All right. I'll do it.
Good boy, Antosha.
If I like it, can I do it again?
Certainly not. I didn't bring you down here with the intention of leaving you here. My God, it's a difficult business being a liberal father.
Evening, gentlemen.
Oh, God! Steady, boy, steady.
Is she one of the teachers?
Oh, she looks like the principal to me. Oh, within looks on. She's a charming-looking girl. I'll go over and attend to your tuition.
Oh, couldn't I take a correspondence course, Father?
No! Stand there and don't move. I'll be right back. Don't twiddle with your hat. This is not a hat-twiddling business. Good evening, madam. A lovely April night, wouldn't you say?
Is it April already? I don't get out much, me.
No, well, I can understand that. Now, it's been a long time since I was involved in such matters, and I would like to discuss with you a subject of some delicacy.
30 roubles.
So much for the delicacy. 30 roubles, you say? Well, speaking for myself, I would say that 30 roubles was quite fair. But it's not for me. It's for my young, inexperienced son. That's him with the knees buckling.
It's still 30 roubles, sir. We don't do children's prices round here.
No, of course not. But 30 roubles does seem a bit high for a boy of 19. Would you consider 15 roubles?
For 15 roubles, sir, I'll read him Peter Rabbit. Now look here, sir, there's a Norwegian ship due in here tonight, and I've got to go and put my blonde wig on.
Wait. There is an extenuating circumstance. It's the boy's birthday, you see. I wanted to give him a nice gift. What do you say?
How about a nice umbrella?
Now, see here. In my day, 30 years ago, I shared the pleasures of the most delightful girl on this street. Ilka the milkmaid, she was called. And she cost me a mere 10 roubles.
Well, she's still here, sir. If you want her, she's down to 6 roubles
Certainly
now.
not, good heavens!
Father, oh father,
Yes?
am I ready yet?
No, in a minute. I'm still shopping. He's really a lovely boy. Fragile and sweet. He tells the most delightful stories. I'm sure you'll find him most entertaining.
Haven't you got it the wrong way round, sir?
Oh, father, I'm getting chilly.
Well, run around a bit. Jump up and down. Be patient. You've waited for 19 years. Just a few minutes more. 20 roubles, not a kopeck more. There's just so much I'm willing to spend on education. Please, it's for my boy. Oh, excuse me. Antasha, stop that. Stand there, you stupid boy.
All right, sir. 20 roubles. Settled. You're a good and loving father, sir, and I respect you for it. Now, if I'd had a father like you, I never would have ended up in the streets bargaining with fathers like you.
There's a moral in there somewhere, but I just can't see it. Right, settle for 20 roubles.
Thank you.
Now, there's just one further request that I have. At the conclusion of the evening's festivities, I would appreciate it greatly if you could just say, "Happy birthday from Papa." Happy birthday from Papa.
Oh, do you want any candles, sir?
No, that won't be necessary. Just be gentle and kind with him. Gentleness, that's all I ask for. Oh dear. A tear. Good heavens. Well, what's a thing to cry over?
I'll wait upstairs, sir. 2 flights up, second door on the left. I'll be gentle.
Oh, thank you. The girls nowadays are so much more understanding.
Oh, and may I say, sir, it's gentlemen like you that make me proud to serve my profession.
Well, what a wonderful nurse she would have made. School's in, Antosha. Settle for 20 roubles. You just have to know how to bargain with these people. Now, it's over there. 2 flights up, second door on the left. I'll wait here. Don't rush.
Do I say anything to her, father?
Like what?
Like, hello?
Well, hello would be nice, and goodbye would be quite good too. Off you go, she's waiting.
Are there any instructions you want to give me, father?
No, that's what I'm paying her good money for. The questions you ask. Go on, lad, before I have to pay her overtime.
All right, father. I'm going.
What is it now?
It's funny, but when I come down those stairs out onto the street, I'll no longer be your little Antosha. I'll be Anton the man. Well, that's all, father. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Antosha. Goodbye. Wait, Antusha.
What is it, Father?
Well, I was thinking. Wouldn't you rather have a nice umbrella for your birthday? Plenty time next year for you to become a man. Plenty time next year.
Yes, Papa.
Yes.
If you wish, Papa.
Oh, good. Well, let's put this back on you. Keep you warm. And Mother will be pleased to see us home early, won't she? Yeah, come on. Well, a nice umbrella. A very handy thing to have. You never know when it's going to rain, eh?
I hope that portrait of my father came out with some affection. I loved him very much. And yet with him, as with all the other characters I've shared with you tonight, I have a sense of betrayal. When I put down my pen at the end of a day's work, I cannot help but feel that I have robbed my friends of their precious life too. What makes my conscience torment me even more is that I had a wonderful time writing today. But before I go, what was it we were talking about early on, before the story of Coachhouse? Ah yes, I was about to say what it was as a child I most wanted to do with my life. Well then, funny, for the life of me I can't remember. But somehow as I stand here with a feeling of great peace and contentment, in some measure I suspect I must be doing it. Thank you for this visit. If ever you pass this way again, please drop in. Good night. Wait! There's an alternative ending. If ever you pass this way again, I hope you inherit 5 million rubles. Good night.